Hey people, I'm back here with another video, and yeah, so another Adpocalypse might happen, especially after some news that I actually stumbled across as I was making this video. And essentially what happened was a guy by the name of Matt What It Is made a video talking about a rabbit hole he found where he claimed that YouTube on a fresh account with a VPN can easily get sucked into a rabbit hole. That's kind of the best way to describe it. I know I've probably used that term more than once at this point, but it really is a rabbit hole because it's really hard to get out of once you get started on it. Where essentially he found videos of children being sexually exploited, or at least even on videos where it's innocent shit with kids. There are pedophiles in the comments linking each other to child porn sites, or pointing out points in the video which could be taken out of context and turned into a form of child porn. And when he made the video, guess what happened? Everyone wanted his fucking head. And I honestly think you guys are fucking stupid. You guys are really fucking stupid. Now, do I personally like Matt? I have no idea who the fuck Matt is. I don't give a shit about Matt. But what drives me nuts is the idea that he was the guy that single-handedly started the Adpocalypse 3. It's because of him there's another Adpocalypse. Oh god, we're all gonna lose our money because of Matt. Oh Matt, that disgusting rat. How dare that piece of shit fuck us over like this? He's gonna cause innocent creators to go hungry.
No, this is just my game, and I play it fair. No, I mean, bigger than you. Bigger than you were trying to shut me down. Bigger than you, and they were men at that.
Okay. One, you guys realize ad revenue has been a sketchy as fuck way to make money on YouTube for a while, right? This is not the golden age of like 2012, 2013 where you could make bank off ad revenue and it was really, really hard to lose it. No, we've not gotten to that day in a long while. No. It's been extremely difficult to keep your ad revenue. Ad revenue is not really much to begin with unless you make millions per video, as in millions of views per video, which is kind of difficult unless you are just consistently a popular figure, which with the age of the internet, that's even harder to get to. But no, it's the fact that this is a problem that YouTube has faced before, and they've done practically nothing to prepare for it again. And I want to get into that a little bit later, but essentially, we already have seen a problem like this occur in the form of Elsagate. Elsagate was when there were those weird Spider-Man Elsa videos that essentially were masks for child porn. At least a lot of them were. Child porn or strange fetish pornography hidden in the YouTube Kids app. Because you would literally have like these bootleg videos using Spider-Man and Elsa as essentially just ways to get people to click on the video. Because, you know, a parent gives a kid his iPad and doesn't really think about what the kid's watching on YouTube. So the kid clicks on things that have Spider-Man and Elsa in them. So, yeah, thanks a lot, parents. Yeah, thanks a lot for not parenting your kids. But that's not the big thing here. The big thing is the fact that YouTube is the biggest media, or one of the biggest media platforms on the planet. I mean, it's partnered up with Google, which is one of the biggest companies on the planet. And yet, YouTube always seems to have the power to fuck everyone on the site over, but can never seem to have the manpower needed to prevent shit like pedophiles on, you know, uploading videos or doing shit like that. Now, apparently that's just way too hard. Because, I mean, sure, YouTube can mass delete your comments because you said a few too many naughty words, or YouTube can set your videos to limited state when you say things they don't like. But, you know, trying to get rid of child porn or trying to get rid of pedophiles in the comments, that's really hard. Do you know how many hours of YouTube get uploaded per second? Like, a lot. A lot, man. A fucking lot. That's so many pedophiles. But no, in all seriousness, I don't believe that bullshit for a second. I think YouTube fully has the power to do it. It's just their staff is so fucking incompetent, they don't know how. I fully believe YouTube is a farm ran by retards, and they're all trying to fuck the sheep all day, so they're not even milking the cow. That's the situation that YouTube is. And really, People need to realize that, because when I saw people freaking out against Matt, what it is, I was seeing some bullshit arguments. I was seeing arguments that were driving me insane. Like, okay, this is gonna sound like old ass fucking drama, but I think it is something that people need to realize can be a spark when you look back on it, when you see how certain people react to certain things. But if anyone remembers the H3 versus Leafy drama, I know, I'm calling back old fucking drama, but that's the point. H3 was trying to be this moral arbiter to Leafy, and Leafy's a piece of shit. I mean, that dude, no one's really missing him. But the point was, you had this guy that was acting as though this kid was making this content that was just so evil and vile and needed to be re-educated. You needed to slap his wrists and say, no, mister, that's not good. But when you really break down what H3 did, it was the exact same shit. So it's just kind of this thing where a pot is calling the kettle black. So it's like, really, motherfucker? You're wanting to pull that card? Are you really sure you want to do that? Because that finger can be easily pointed at you. And that's what I'm saying a lot with the Matt shit here, where everyone wants to say Matt made the video because he was being disingenuous. He was being this clickbaity parasite that was just in it for views. He just wanted to be famous. He wanted to court the media. One, of course he was doing it for views. It was a video. Two, of course he wants to be famous. He has a YouTube channel. Three, of course he wants to court the media. He was trying to call advertisers and alert journalists. If you really think these are bad things, sure, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna stop you there. I think the dude did something at least decent by pointing out that this shit is still happening on a scale that's really ridiculous if you can stumble on it in less than 5 minutes. But at the same time, I do think he did overblow a lot of his points. Like, he was trying to say that there were entire channels that monetized the sexualization of children, and it's like, that you kind of have to explain what you mean, because if you have something like Just Destiny, where he had like clickbaity, thumbnails where he had 15-year-old chicks in skimpy clothing, yeah, you can make the argument. Of course, Just Destiny got called out with that super hard. But I did understand what he was going for. It was shocking. He was trying to get people to realize this was a problem. And seeing people basically say that he was this piece of shit, he was literally the most infamous man on YouTube, it's like, you do realize there's some fucked up people that use his website, right? Oh no, he caused an advertiser to pull out. You can't make the ad money, which has already been a really stupid way to make money on YouTube. Oh, how terrible. Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for this shit, especially when people are trying to pull the shit of he was being disingenuous. It's like, how the fuck can you even prove that? You don't know how much he actually gives a shit about, that issue. Unless you can specifically get him in a room where he's saying, I never gave a fuck about this, I was in it purely for the money. Trying to say he was being disingenuous and was only doing it for views is really kind of a shitty way to go about it. And honestly, I was seeing a lot of shit from also channels like Memeology or, Keemstar, he was another big one, trying to say, well, they were trying to deal with pedophiles on a discrete case-by-case basis. They were trying to be low-key about it because they didn't want advertisers freaking out and pulling out, and this guy came along and ruined it. All I can say to that is, this shouldn't have been an issue that YouTubers had to fix. This should have been an issue that YouTube itself could have fixed. I mean, just think about that. Think about how fucked up that is. YouTubers have to police their own site to make sure pedophiles aren't on it. YouTube itself is so goddamn incompetent, they can't handle actually looking into that shit and making sure there isn't any kind of fucked up shit getting on, uploaded to their site on a constant basis. I mean, I understand that there are exceptions. There will be those that slip through the cracks. No matter how secure your system is, there's going to be that one that gets through. But it shouldn't have gotten to the point where it's as bad as it was. I mean, honestly, like, really? YouTube polices comments all the time. They couldn't get rid of pedophiles in the comments. And I know what they say. Well, it's bots. You can train a bot to follow any fucking pattern. Trying to say, well, it's a bot, isn't an excuse when you have bots get rid of people making nigger jokes, or 9/11 jokes, or gas the Jew jokes. Okay? They already trained bots to get rid of that shit. Why not train them to get rid of the pedophiles? It shouldn't be that hard. But the worst part of it is just the fact that these people are missing the forest for the trees here. I mean, I get it, you're pissed off, you don't want to lose the ad revenue, it's a source of income. But at the same time, as I said, that income has been rocky at best for a while. It's not something to trust. I mean, there kind of comes a point where you have to realize you might need a separate source of income, and that can be in any form: merchandise, Patreons, fan donations, second job if you can actually fit it into your schedule and are physically able to do it. I mean, I get it, working sucks. Having to come up with alternatives because something's fucking you over sucks. And I especially understand if you have like a very politically conflicted channel. And what I mean by that is you're kind of like a right-wing journalist or a right-wing channel, and Patreon drops your ass, or YouTube demonetizes your entire channel on top of that. I get it. There's a lot of ways you can get fucked over if you say the wrong things that the internet doesn't like. But at the same time, it kind of comes down to the point of, dude, you have to plan for that. You have to put eventualities in. Going blind by the seat of your ass right in the golden times is exactly how you get fucked over. I mean, sure, one day you can be making up to like $50,000 a month. I mean, look at someone like Wings of Redemption. He's a pretty big lolcow at this point. But people need to realize that dude was making like $500,000 a fucking month. That dude was making bank. He had tons of fucking money. And you wanna know why he's a fat failure right now, talking about how he wants to blow his brains out? He never saved any of that money. He never prepared for when it was gonna go away. So don't get pissed off at this dude that was making a video on a subject that went viral, okay? Because I guarantee you, if he wasn't gonna do it, a journalist would have done it without a second thought, and he wouldn't have given a fuck. Now, all of this kind of comes down to one simple rule, and that is stop forgiving YouTube. Stop this abusive spouse syndrome everyone has with YouTube. This absolute Stockholm syndrome where no matter how bad YouTube gets, especially with the announcements that they're probably going to do shit like demonetize channels based on the comment section, or delete comment sections from channels entirely without the permission from the people that make the channels, people are going to keep forcing through it. They're going to keep trudging through it because they're like, well, there's no other alternatives. There's not an alternative because no one has the balls to make one. Okay, I get it. Making an alternative kind of sucks because you have to essentially throw yourself out on essentially a market that's dominated by one beast and no one wants to go for it. We all saw what happened to VidMe. VidMe died. But at the same time, it comes down to if you don't change something, it's never going to get big in the first place. I mean, with YouTube, how bad is it going to get for everyone just says fuck it? It's going to get really fucking bad. And I guarantee you it's going to get really fucking bad. Because there's always going to be those kids that are willing to sell their souls for millions of subscribers. That's what it comes down to. And YouTube wants those kids. They are in love with those kids. They need people that do not give a shit how bad it's going to get and just want to be internet famous. And honestly, the problem with YouTube now and with a lot of people on YouTube is the fact that the higher ups are so fucking disconnected from everything, that even the smallest victories get people to think there's some massive change coming and YouTube's finally going to be okay. No, it's not. The higher ups like Susan Wojcicki or whatever don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about the users. They don't give a fuck about anyone on this site. So at this point, you kind of need to realize, fuck this. Let's do something else. Let's go somewhere else. And I do have a few ideas on alternatives we can do. I know some people are probably going to say, we tried that, it failed, or no, that's not a good idea. But this is just spitballing some way to try to get people to think about what we can do. And that is, one, independent sites. Everyone that wants a channel can do an independent site, maybe put some kind of like video embed system in there, something like that, some way to get videos on your site so you can watch them. I know that sounds like going back to 2002, but guess what? That might be what's needed. I mean, that's what Mumkey had to do. Red Letter Media has their own specific site. I mean, there kind of comes a point where you have to say, fuck it, why not? 2, try to build up some kind of alternative, like a BitChute. BitChute, some people are using it. And with the alternative thing, I do want to go on kind of a separate little mini rant right there, just to kind of air my thoughts on that. The problem with a lot of alternatives nowadays is everyone wants that instant replacement for YouTube. They want the overnight YouTube killer. And they don't realize that's not how it's going to work. You can't make YouTube money just yet. No, if you start on an alternative, you're essentially starting at step 1. You're making videos for fun. And sure, you might have an audience that donates to a Patreon, but at this point, what if your Patreon gets destroyed? Hell, we're reaching a point now where what if your bank just shuts off your fucking account? That's how bad it's getting. Yeah, welcome to, politics in modern day. It's not just, I disagree with you, good sir. It's, I'm going to make sure that everyone knows where you live, post your address on radical communist sites, shut down your bank account, make sure you can never talk on the internet, get you fired from your job, make sure you don't have any guns to defend yourself when my psychotic friends come to attack you, and make sure you get swatted too. Because that's political discourse nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. That's political discourse. That's our culture nowadays. Fuck it, let the nukes fly, burn it all down, motherfuckers. And no, just with YouTube, they're constantly obsessed with keeping this family-friendly image. They want to be this main media replacement. They want to be this all-in-one TV channel, which is ironic because they're trying so hard to appease people like Stephen Colbert, that faggot that's not funny, Jon Stewart, that faggot that's not funny, Bill Maher, that faggot that's not funny, and all the other faggots that are not funny. They're trying so hard to appease them, and they don't realize no one likes them anymore. Bill Maher was, kind of popular back in the 90s, but now that the smug liberal comedian is basically the exact opposite of funny nowadays, no one wants to listen to him. Yeah, when he says shit like, oh, people like blue states because they have Chef Wolfgang Puck. They don't like red states because they have Chef Boyardee. Yeah, Bill Maher, you do know San Francisco streets are covered in human feces and heroin needles, right? That's so fucking cultured, dude. So fucking cultured. So fucking cultured to walk through fucking human feces and dirty heroin needles. Yeah, get fucked, you unfunny piece of shit. And really, YouTube has completely foregone any chance of compromise. They're gonna get those main media suits to be their number one guys. The fucking YouTube Rewind was this self-congratulatory pat on the back saying, oh, we made it okay to talk about mental illness. Meanwhile, any channel that talked about mental illness got demonetized. Look, Will Smith is talking about Fortnite. No one gives a shit about Will Smith, and the only people that like Fortnite are 13-year-olds. Oh, look, K-pop. The only people that like K-pop are teenage girls that need to commit suicide. And, oh, look, all these people with bright rainbow hair and plaid jeans and hipster shit. No one likes hipsters. The YouTube shooting happened, everyone hoped hipsters would get hit by the bullets. And I know this sounds like edgy humor where I'm saying like, oh yeah, people need to get shot and kill themselves. At this point, who gives a fuck about trying to appease these motherfuckers? I mean, I'm sorry, everyone has tried well, if we just keep our heads down and be respectful, maybe YouTube will leave our channels alone. No, they don't. They come for you eventually. I say fuck it. Whip your dick out on the table and say, ban me, bitch. Who gives a fuck? Fuck your dead-ass website. And obviously, that's my interpretation, just because I don't give a fuck. I've put maybe like $160 into this channel at best, because I bought a capture card, which I barely use anymore. And I bought a microphone for $60. So, yeah, there we go. That's my financial investment in YouTube. That's why I don't give a fuck what happens to this site. I like my funny videos, and if it died completely, I wouldn't really know where to go. But that's the big thing. YouTube's gonna die completely. We need to think about this shit. So, that's all I can really say. Oh, I will add one thing. Since I don't want to forget completely before. The reason I say YouTube's about to get even worse is the fact that apparently YouTube was found to have had kids videos in the YouTube Kids app that straight up had tips on how to commit suicide. Now, some people I saw on Twitter were saying, oh yeah, it was like soccer moms looking at Filthy Frank gifs, where he was making jokes about hanging yourself and killing yourself. Which case, I will say, really, have we regressed so far culturally that Filthy Frank is now the ultimate offense now? Seriously, people are taking Filthy Frank seriously, even though that's literally the entire joke of him. It's like, if you take Filthy Frank seriously, you are a fucking retard. But no, apparently, yeah, that is the level of offense we have reached, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached the level of offense where Filthy Frank, a guy who is edgy humor that everyone laughed at like 3 fucking years ago is now apparently so bad that advertisers are going to threaten to pull out and everyone needs to ban Filthy Frank clips. Good thing Joji moved on to music because he might have seen his channel die. But no, it's just, this is fucking ridiculous. It's just, people need to stop forgiving YouTube. Hold their fucking feet to the fire. Actually start doing shit. Start fucking protesting. If all YouTubers just shut off monetization, relied completely on fan donations, or, I don't know, even stopped uploading for a while, sending letters to Susan threatening to never upload again unless she fixed this shit, you might see an impact. But at the same time, it could just be Google shoots the company in the head, because we have reached our corporate dystopia, and it's not as cool as something like Ghost in the Shell or Blade Runner. It sucks ass because we're controlled by rainbow-haired hipsters, not Illuminati groups. I want my Deus Ex future. You fucking faggot-ass transgender twinks, give me my Deus Ex future. Stop giving me your stupid future full of Steven Universe fan arts. I'm done. Fuck this shit. Fuck YouTube.